What the fuck? God damn. Didn't even tell you to start. Say start. I didn't even attempt to say start. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. It's always worse than I fucking thought. Alright, I'm gonna start off the video with an excerpt from 1984. Throughout recorded time, and probably since the end of the Neolithic Age, there have been three kinds of people in the world: the high, the middle, and the low. They have been subdivided in many ways. They have borne countless different names, and their relative numbers, as well as their attitude towards one another, have varied from age to age, but the essential structure of society is never altered. Even after enormous upheavals and seemingly irrevocable changes, the same pattern has always reasserted itself, just as a gyroscope will always return to equilibrium. Like when I lay my motorcycle over. Anywho, however far it is pushed one way or the other. And that's chapter 1. Ignorance is strength. And I believe that's the book that, what is it, the Winston character gives the other guy? I don't know, I have to go back. But anywho, that's that. And I have another quote I would like to read, and it's a Joseph Campbell quote. "You see, consciousness thinks it's running the shop, but it's a secondary organ of the total human being, and it must not put itself in control. It must submit and serve the humanity of the body. When it does put itself in control, you get a man like Darth Vader in Star Wars. The man goes over to the consciously intentional side. If the person insists on a certain program, and he doesn't listen to the demands of his own heart, he's going to risk a schizophrenic crack-up. Such a person has put himself off-center. He has aligned himself with a program for life, and it's not the one the body's interested in at all. The world is full of people who have stopped listening to themselves, or have listened only to their neighbors to learn what they ought to do, how they ought to behave, and what the values are they should be living for." That's Joseph Campbell. In this video, I'd like to give a shout out to the fired Space Force commander, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeyer. And he's been really exposing critical race theory. And in his interview with Tucker Carlson, he brought up this word called equity. And in the last few videos that I have done, where did that word pop up? Well, I'll remind you, it was in the curriculum vitae of the Squishy Robotics CEO, Alice Agagino. And in her areas of research, the last thing is gender/ethnic equity in engineering and technology. You know, there's that equity word again. You know, I just wanted to bring that up so you guys could cogitate on that a bit. Alright, what else do we have? Okay, this video I'd like to get into a little bit more of BlueForce development and you know, its CEO. His name is Michael Helfrich. That's the guy who owns BlueForce Technology. And I wanted to kind of point out how the technology to manage any crisis, there's this company called Zebra, and it partners with BlueForce for COVID-19 response. So, I need to do a little bit more research into Zebra, but basically the generals of Zebra would be, Zebra's making the devices that these operatives can use to track and trace, contact trace, basically, you know, put in any, they're basically trying to Google the entire world IRL, in real life. You know, instead of like Googling the digital world, they're trying to create like a Pokemon Go thing for operatives, where the government will just give you orders, or shadowy organization will just give you orders on this device, and you'll basically be, I don't know, synthesized with this device, and that's what, I don't know, that'll be your god, I guess. I don't freaking know. But there's this article I found, I'm pretty sure this is like a BlueForce development newsletter or something. But yeah, technology to manage any crisis. Zebra partners with BlueForce for COVID-19 response. To help first responders handle the worldwide spread of COVID-19, BlueForce Development and Zebra have partnered closely to offer a situational awareness platform that can be rapidly deployed by law enforcement agencies. BlueForce provides an easy-to-use subscriber interface to securely connect with people, sensors, and AI services in seconds using Zebra rugged mobile devices. So Zebra's like the Samsung or what else? The freaking Android, iPhone, whatever. They're making the devices that BlueForce technology software will go into. Okay, yeah, so using Zebra rugged mobile devices to capture data and remain connected in critical environments, utilizing the Android or Windows operating system, public safety personnel can be grouped to form customized responder networks to counter simultaneous incidents and adapt to continuously evolving needs. The needs of who? Like, I understand the first responder stuff, the space exploration, all of that sounds great, you know, and honestly, yeah, this technology can be used for that. But do you think they're gonna follow the Constitution when it comes to we the people, you know, and them using these devices on us? They have a track record of not following the Constitution, basic, you know, Bill of Rights, privacy, all of that. Like, come on now. Like, how many times do you have to be told that they're using our data against us to game the frickin' system? This isn't frickin' rocket science. Anywho, maybe it is to some people. I don't fucking know anymore. So anyways, who is Michael Helfrich? Yeah, so what is he from? Newburyport, Massachusetts. You can find his LinkedIn online, and that's what I'm reading from right now. And you know, I don't, without subscribing to LinkedIn, basically what stuck out to me as far as this guy's LinkedIn profile was the organizations he's a part of, which he has been part of since January 2009 until present, FBI InfraGard. So what is InfraGard? I mean, that's come up a few times, right? What is it? I forget. So I'm gonna go search it and find out, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. InfraGard is a non-profit organization serving as a public-private partnership between U.S. businesses and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. The organization is an information sharing and analysis effort serving the interests and combining the knowledge base of a wide range of private sector and government members. InfraGard is an association of individuals that facilitates information sharing and intelligence between businesses, academic institutions as well, state and local law enforcement agencies, and other participants dedicated to prevent hostile acts against the United States, like what, Al-Qaeda or something? I mean, give me a break. Like, what are these hostile outside forces that we need to completely spy on the American people extrajudicially and use all our information against us to like game the system? It's just incredible. InfraGard's mutual non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, among its members, individuals, and the FBI promotes trusted discussions of vulnerabilities and solutions that companies and individuals may be hesitant to place in the public domain and provide access to additional threat information from the FBI. So, I mean, basically their Wikipedia page is explaining how they do all this outside of the courts. You know, how they can get away with... there was a video that Robert Barnes and Viva did the other day that was explaining how they hide these informants within the... people they're trying to go after, and there's ways that they can work around having to give up the informant's identification, and you just have to check out that video, Robert Barnes Viva. I can't remember the name of the video, but anyways, yeah, that's interesting. So InfraGard is all about that. And back to the contact tracing, which, I mean, like, okay, everything seems to be over with now. Their little temper tantrum of scaring everybody about some flu we're all gonna die from, I guess. I don't freaking know, but like, it seems to be dying down. But one company in particular that I have been following even before I knew about BlueForce or Squishy Robotics was a company called AM, Applied Memetics. And memetics is basically the science of memes and how you can use memes to influence society, people, groups of people, yada yada yada. And one of their careers that popped up during the whole pandemic or whatever was contact tracer, and they've since scrubbed it from their website. But if you use the Wayback Machine, you can find all of that again. And let me just read a little bit of what that was all about. So yeah, they seem to be a pretty reputable, highly recommended company. What else we got? COVID-19 contact tracing, Applied Memetics. The scale and complexity of the COVID-19 outbreak has underscored the need for prompt and effective implementation of evidence-based containment measures. Evidence-based. Now, did we see an honest, science-backed, evidence-based explanation of what just went on the last year and a half or whatever? In my opinion, no. Rand Paul, like I said in a previous video, has been doing pretty good at bringing these topics up into the limelight. The hypocrisy of our government doctors or whatever. I don't know. I never voted for Fauci. I don't think anybody else did. I don't know how that little man gained so much power. Whatever. So yeah, Applied Memetics, look into that group. I'll do a video, I'm sure, in the future. It's CEO is a guy named Dan Gabriel, complete spook, CIA guy. What else? Okay, and then let's go back to Orwell for a second. The aims, now remember those three groups I talked about, the high, the middle, and the low. Now, what are their roles in all of this? You know, what has been historically proven to be these roles of these three groups? And look, we're all like a part of an eye of a dragonfly, right? And you know, it brings up the what is it? The men. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the three men and an elephant, or you know, the men and the blind men and the elephant. So you have like a bunch of blind dudes touching a different part of an elephant, and they're trying to explain what an elephant is, you know, to, I don't know, somebody else. They're trying to all explain, and it looks so much different. But you know, we all, that people that can see, we know what an elephant is. We can see the elephant. So I don't know, just keep that in mind if that makes any sense. The aims of these three groups are entirely irreconcilable. The aim of the high is to remain where they are. The aim of the middle is to change places with the high. The aim of the low, when they have an aim, for it is an abiding characteristic of the low that they are too much crushed by drudgery to be more than intermittently conscious of anything outside their daily lives. It is to abolish all distinctions and create a society in which all men shall be equal. Thus, throughout history, a struggle, which is the same in its main outlines, reoccurs over and over again. For long periods, the high seem to be securely in power, but sooner or later, there always comes a moment when they lose... Jesus. Come on. Lose either their belief in themselves or their capacity to govern efficiently, or both. They are then overthrown by the middle, who enlist the low on their side by pretending to them that they are fighting for liberty and justice. As soon as they have reached their objective, the middle thrust the low back into their old position of servitude and themselves become the high. Presently, a new middle group splits off from one of the other groups, or from both of them, and the struggle begins over again. Life is a circle. Anyways, that's ridiculous. Of the three groups, only the low are never even temporarily successful in achieving their aims. It would be an exaggeration to say that throughout history there had been no progress of a material kind. Even today, in a period of decline, the average human being is physically better off than he was a few centuries ago. But no advance in wealth, no softening of manners, no reform or revolution has ever brought human equality a millimeter nearer. From the point of view of the low, no historic change has ever meant much more than a change in the name of their masters. Okay, and then the last thing I'll leave you with is, so like, keep that in mind about the high, right? The high, the upper class, the bourgeois, the bougie. They have it all, and somehow they become complacent. And this reminds me of what happened in Nazi Germany, is a lot of the higher Germans didn't take the Nazis seriously. They didn't think that the lower classes would accept some kind of mindset like that. But, you know, as history has told us, they did. And look what havoc that released. And, you know, my family's from Germany. The Krauses are from Germany. And one of my heroes, his name is Karl Kraus, oddly enough. And there were other Krauses, you know, of higher German status that didn't take the Nazis seriously. They thought they were buffoons, and they didn't create... They didn't reach down to the lower classes to explain to them and teach them how the Nazis were wrong, basically. You know, they ate their cake, and they danced, and, you know, they, I don't know, were into their riches. And the Nazis were meddling during all of that. And, you know, look what happened, because good people didn't stand up, except Karl Kraus. He was a playwright, a comic writer. You know, he had a small following of really devout people. Yeah, people didn't listen to him, you know, and he made fun of the Nazis all the time. He brought up the hypocrisy of World War I, and, you know, fortunately, Karl died before, right before, it was like within the year, I believe, the Nazis came to power. He died right before that. And whose house was the first house those motherfuckers went to? Karl's house, and they burnt down his fucking library. So, yeah, rest in peace, Karl. Check him out sometime, you know, do some research. He's pretty funny. But yeah, I think that was it. The coffee of tonight was some organic Wicked Joe's. But I hope I made sense. And yeah, I'm not acting like I know it all at all. I'm just trying to, you know, help the Brutas in their education and their learning, and I'm choosing the things that help me through my life, and I hope it helps somebody else, and, you know, can guide them to other things that they needed to hear that they might not be hearing now. You know, it's everybody's on their own journey. Like I said, a dragonfly eye has a bunch of little eyes, and we are, you know, each of those little eyes all looking at the same time, right? So, later, fuckers!